look at our EX30/Master suspension kit and see what's inside. We have our left and our right linkages, and we have our hardware/install kit. This install kit comes with two different sizes of shock spacers for metric and imperial shock, one with a 1/2-inch eyelet and one with a 14mm eyelet. It also comes with the H-brace seal to replace the space where your stock shock used to go, and a top center bushing that goes in between the top links on your frame. I also have washers with a seal and some spacer seals that go on the lower H-brace bolt, and I'll explain that in a second. Next thing we have are brass shims, which is shim stock, and round shims, and that's just to fine-tune the feeling or get any of the stiction out of your sliders. Last thing we have are our hex bolt seals, and these go on the outside of the hex bolts to keep all the dirt and grime from our bushings. We also have a little bit of assembly grease. Now let's go over the actual linkage. We have a right side and we have a left side. The first thing most people notice is the brass bushings, and the reason I use that on this linkage is because all those bushings are inset into the linkage to give us a little bit more space in the middle. The Master and the EX30 have a bit more narrow linkage than the Extreme and ET Max. And when you're trying to use big shocks, very big springs, every millimeter counts. You also see that these do have a main ball bearing in the center, and these are sealed and they do not need any kind of maintenance. This is the right side as looking from the back of the wheel. Curve down, clearance curve on the top. This is the left side, curve down, clearance curve on the top. I really like the way that this black and yellow looks. The anodized and the brass just looks amazing. Make sure that when you're installing these to use some of that lubricant in between the brass bushings and metal pins. And honestly, I put a little bit in between every metal sliding surface. I do want to go over the lower H-brace assembly on the EX30 and Master, so let's go over that real quickly. So this is an H-brace for an Extreme, but it's pretty close. Here's your bolt, and on the EX30 and Master, this bolt's actually going to be a little longer than we need it, but instead of providing new hardware, I have a better solution. To get that little bit of extra space, I do have a 1mm washer that does have a little rubber seal on the outside. That's going to go right against the H-brace. This is a brass bushing that would be pressed into your linkage, so that's going to go right on top of that. And then I have these nice little TPU seals. So it's a seal and a spacer. That's actually going to go on top of that and make this nice sealed bolt assembly. Just like that. Now just imagine there's a linkage right there. And all of that